Good day, everyone. Today we are going to discuss the nature of research, the different types of research, the steps in doing research, and the international standards and rules in conducting research. Welcome to our subject Research 2. I am your teacher, Warren Pondok. Before we formally begin with our discussion, let me first with today's discussion with this curriculum guide in Research 2. Here's our K to 12 curriculum guide for special science program in research. Now, research is the core of the special science program designed to provide learners with knowledge and understanding of scientific processes that they will use in undertaking science investigations. Various science process skills embedded in this course serve as criteria that will benchmark the higher order thinking skills in the field of research. The concepts on the nature of research and research processes will enable the learners to generate problems, select and synthesize relevant literature observing ethical standards, employ experimental designs, and apply basic statistical tools which will enhance the scientific writing skills in developing a research proposal. Furthermore, the learners will demonstrate the skills and competencies in conducting actual experimental research. This will lead them to establish linkages that will result to collaboration with different stakeholders such as partner research institutions, industries, and community itself. But let me just remind every one of you that for now, we cannot be able to partner with research institutions like colleges and universities um, for our undertaking no, in our future researches or scientific researches because of the current pandemic situation. They will acquire mastery and proficiency in writing and scientific paper or in writing the scientific paper by exposing them to the rigors of writing research reports. This research course will strengthen the learner's research capability and higher level of mastery and proficiency through continuous development of the science research project. This will foster the research culture among learners, creating critical thinkers and problem solvers among them, and motivating them to pursue science and technology courses in the near future and become globally competitive individuals. Um, for the course description, here's our course description for Research 2. Research 2 for Grade 8 introduces the nature of research and processes to learners. This will help them generate a researchable problems, formulate hypotheses, select, synthesize, and cite relevant literature following ethical standards, and apply the principles of experimental design and methodology, determine the basic statistical tools, and enhance scientific writing skills in preparing a research proposal. This subject is also designed to prepare the learners in establishing strong linkages, collaboration, and consultation with research institutions, industries, and nearby communities. So here's our um, topic for this video lecture. Letter A, the nature of research. So we are going to discuss the meaning, characteristics, and importance of research, the definition and description of types of scientific research, particularly the fundamental research, applied research, and development work. And third, the research processes, which I will um, include for the second part of this video lecture. So number one, documenting the research process by using data logbook and research forms. Number two, international rules in the conduct of research. So we are gonna discuss the ethics, the human participants, vertebrate animals, potentially hazardous biological agents, and hazardous chemicals, activities, and devices for the ethical standards in conducting different subjects or handling different materials. Okay. Then, second part no of this video lecture are the steps in the research process. Okay. So the first is identification of the problem, formulation of hypothesis, review of related literature, planning of the research design and procedure, experimentation, data gathering, organization, processing, analysis, and interpretation, and formulation of conclusion. Then for the third video lecture, I will discuss the research problem. Okay? So there are different research problem constructions in regards to the categories or research categories, particularly life science, physical, and robotics categories. Okay?
There are many things you want to know in this world. People, things, places, events, their characteristics or qualities make you wonder continuously, frequently, or intermittently. Marveling at them, you tend to immerse yourself in a situation where you seem to be grappling with a problem or a puzzle. Now, in Jen's case, as a researcher, no? In Jen's case, he was able to figure out that there's a lot of bed bugs on his bed. It's because um, as a researcher, he was able to find data or find answers, no, in somehow a unique way. Questions after questions on the many aspects of the object or your curiosity prod you to move, act, or do something to find answers to your questions or to discover truths about your inferences or speculations on such object. Behaving like an investigator asking and seeking answers to some questions about the thing you find puzzling indicates the true nature of research. Now, what is the nature of inquiry and research? Take note that one goal of education is knowledge acquisition. However, education is not just stocking your brain with knowledge, but it also encourages you to use acquired knowledge for a deeper understanding of the world, an understanding that inspires, an understanding that inspires you to create, construct, or produce things for the betterment of not only your own life, but of the whole world as well. Here are the objectives of this video lecture. Number one, you should be able to explain the meaning, characteristics, and importance of research. Second, categorize research in terms of features and relevance. Third, demonstrate proper data logbook writing. Fourth, distinguish different research forms. Fifth, recognize international standards and rules in the conduct of research. Sixth, describe the nature of research or of the research process. Seventh, apply the guidelines or criteria in the selection of research topic or problem. Eighth, state the main problem and sub-problems of the research. And the last objective, formulate research hypothesis. So hanggang research hypothesis na lang muna tayo before we jump into uh, research problem formulation. Okay? The nature of Okay, ano nga ba ang research? What is research? Maybe some of you think about research, no, as a school requirement. You think of research as something to do with the internet. But what really is research? Ano nga ba ang research? Now, research is not learning from books, no, papers, news reports, or from professors. Anything that can be learned by definition is not research. Now, if you are going to search online, is it doing research? No, it's not doing research. Searching online is okay. So, what about stalking someone through social media? It's not still doing research, no? Siguro sinasabi ng iba na kapag um, nag gumagawa ka ng stalking, no? You are stalking to someone, perhaps you are doing research. No, it's not doing research as well. What is research? Research is solving a particular problem, no? We are trying to solve a particular problem. Solving a particular problem that have no known solution, okay? Walang um, sabi pa walang um, available na solution by anyone in the world through a unique and systematic way. So, if you are solving a particular problem and along the way you created um, a systematic way in solving the problem, or you came up with a solution, no, a unique solution, that is research. Okay, research is creative and systematic work undertaken to increase the stock of knowledge. So, kapag meron kang bagong nalalaman along the way, you increase your stack of knowledge. That is research, no? If you were able to create a very unique and creative way in solving a particular problem, that is research. If you made a systematic procedure in solving a problem, that is research. Okay? It involves the collection, organization, and analysis of information to increase understanding of a topic or issue. A research project may be an expansion on past work in the research is a scientific, experimental, or inductive manner of thinking. Okay? When we say scientific, 'di ba we have the scientific method, 'di ba? If we say experimental, it uh, applies the it's a way of doing it's a way of solving something, it's a way of finding solution by applying the scientific method, no? Scientific method is an inductive method wherein we need to identify first the problem to come up with a solution. Starting from particular to more complex ideas, you execute varied thinking acts that range from lower order to higher order thinking strategies reflected by these research activities. So, research is not a simple task to do. It's because you are going to apply the scientific method to come up with a solution. And it allows you to think critically, to create strategies, no, to somehow come up with a solution. Now, research is empirical, logical, methodical, cyclical, and critical. Okay? The data you work on in research do not come mainly from yourself. So, hindi solo mong um, kinukuha yung mga data. Hindi solo mong galing sa iyo talaga yung data. But also from other sources of knowledge like people, books, and artworks among others. So gaya ng example natin a while ago about John doing experiment with his bed to eliminate the bed bugs, no? Wherein John um, search for studies or articles that is of great help for him to come up with a solution. Okay? Hence, one cardinal principle in research is to give acknowledgement to owners of all sources of knowledge involved in your research work. So, kailangan nating um, i-cite, no? We have the proper protocol, we have the proper method in citing the author, and we also need to, if we are going to use a particular statement from someone's um, research work, we need to paraphrase the statement. Why is research important? So, kanina we defined research, no? Now, we need to understand why research is important. Bakit nga ba importante ang research? Now, some of you might not be able to recognize these kinds of phones, no? Kasi itong mga klaseng phones na to, ito yung mga usong phones dati, mga year 2000, no? Until siguro mga 2008 or 9, unti-unti nang nawala yung mga ganitong klaseng phones. But still, meron pa ring mga phones na may mga katulad nito na mga keys. Okay? But why am I showing you this picture? This picture is a symbol of a previous technology, or this picture depicts the previous technology we have to communicate with our families or relatives in distant locations or places. We can freely communicate with other people from point A to point B, no? As long as there is a stable signal in the phone. Now, because of research, we improved or we had our quantum leap with our communication today because these phones cannot be able to search the internet, surf the internet. No, these phones cannot be able to access Facebook or view videos from YouTube. No. Now, because of research, engineers came up with this phone. We call this smartphone. Why? Why smartphone? Now, aside from uh, text messaging, this phone can take picture, no? Meron siyang camera. Aside from that, it can make calls. It can also play music. It can also surf the internet. It can send emails. It can access social media accounts, no? The Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. and it can play videos from YouTube. Ang daming pwedeng magawa ng phone na to na hindi nagagawa ng dati nating mga gamit na mga phones. Okay, yung may mga maraming keys at maliit na ah, LCD monitor, no? So, ito yung future natin, yung smartphone. And this is a product of research. Okay? Now, ano nga ba ang nasa smartphone na wala sa mga predecessors nito? Ang dami. Yung smartphone natin ngayon, meron siyang komplikadong integrated ah, circuit board, no? Kung noon gamit natin na antena ay yung pahaba, ngayon yung antena natin ay ng smartphone natin ngayon ay square na. Integrated na sa isang panel yung antena. Okay? Meron pa nga mga antenna strips sa labas ng smartphone. So, ganito kakomplikado yung engineering, no, ng isang smartphone. Pero as a user, we cannot be able to um, somehow realize that, acknowledge the complexity of our smartphone because we are merely users, no, of this device. Now, why am I showing this to you? Now, based on, say for example, sa reception ng isang phone, noon, gamit natin yung pahaba na antena. Ngayon, wala na kayong makitang pahaba na antena or yung lalabas bigla dito sa itaas na bahagi ng phone, wala na. It's because isang engineer yung nakadiscover from their research, no? Gumawa sila ng study na kung pwede bang maging square ang antena and pwede bang ma-integrate ang iba't ibang or pwede bang gumawa ng isang parang unified na antena na sasagap ng iba't ibang frequency, no? Pwede siyang bumato ng infrared, no? Microwave, radio waves para ma-optimize yung kanyang pagka-user friendly and capabilities. And also, nilagyan din nila ito ng mga sensors, iba't ibang sensors like sa camera sensor, nadidetect niya yung distansya ng subject mo. Okay? Kaya merong mga iba't ibang effects ng picture ngayon. That's because of the innovation in our technology today as a product of. Another example of products out of research uh, conducted, no? Out of research, we have for transportation, for mobility, cars and car and a motorcycle. Now, an established brand named Honda invested a huge amount of money for research and development or R&D. In fact, meron nga silang isang buong building talaga na puro lang research and development yung activities. Okay? Walang manufacturing. Bakit? Ano yung reason nila? Well, it's because Honda really believe that they can be able to innovate things, no, and out of those innovations they can apply those innovations to improve their product and to become more accessible to each individual. So noon, ang Honda yung pinaka fuel efficient sa bansang Estados Unidos noon. Kasi sila yung unang nakadevelop ng IV tech, yung kanilang technology sa engine na kung saan malaki yung fuel efficiency rate niya compared sa ibang brands ng cars. No? The same with motorcycles, they innovated their technology in motorcycles and became famous in MotoGPs. No? If you are watching MotoGPs, palaging nananalo ang Honda. Another application of research or importance of research, we have um, genetically modified organisms, no? Kung saan yung mga pananim natin, no, ay minomodify yung genetic code niya, yung genetic sequence niya to become a better product or to become a better source of food. Like this corn. So, meron na ngayong maraming sweet corn. Yung malaking corn na matamis compared doon sa variety na yung original variety niya. No? That's a genetically modified organism. Another yung seedless grapes, no? Seedless na siya. So wala nang I think wala na yata ngayong mga grapes na may buto sa market. So usually mga seedless grapes na lang. Then yung rice natin, no? So yung Eupilus banius, marami silang research about rice. In fact, meron tayong gene bank ng rice kung saan natin nilalagay yung mga iba't ibang genes ng rice like meron tayong brown rice, black rice, no, red rice, etc. So again, research is very important kasi we are modifying something, no, like the genes, the genetic sequence to provide better foods, no, to provide a sustainable source of food like meron na tayong mga rice ngayon na flood resistant, no? So, flood resistant and as well as pest resistant na rin. Kasi, ah, problema ng mga farmers natin yung tag-ulan na palaging nalulugi sila dahil sa malakas na ulan, no? Na cause of damage ng kanilang mga palay and as well as mga pest na existing pa rin ngayon. So, meron ng mga genetically modified rice na flood and pest resistant na. Okay, I think it was developed in Japan. I don't know if ano nang stage ngayon yung kanilang study. Okay? So, the same with the corn. Yung mga corn borers, no? Problema ng mga farmers din yun. So, meron na tayong mga pest-resistant corns sa ngayon. Now, not just in research is not just important in mobility, transportation, communication, food, but it also plays a vital role in the healthcare system. So we have in the past decades, no, we have plenty of medicines developed in laboratories as a product of research. We have also um, medical procedures, no, developed by researchers to best to somehow uh, address different medical conditions, no? And um, lalo na ngayon meron tayong COVID-19, meron tayong pandemic. So one good product of scientists, researchers, we have the COVID vaccine. Itong vaccine na ito, maliit lang to pero ang daming proseso na pinagdaanan nito, okay, before siya naging available. Why? It's because um, for vaccine to be effective, it must also be safe for everyone to use. Description and definition of the types of scientific research. Now, first we have the fundamental research. It is also known as the basic research. It is a type of scientific research with the aim of improving scientific theories for better understanding and prediction of natural or other phenomena. Basic research often fuels the technological innovations of applied science. So, um, basically, fundamental research is somehow the development of scientific theories. And also, these scientific theories are the basis in creating technological innovations, no, that we apply in science. Now, basic research is an investigation on basic principles and reasons for occurrence of a particular event or process or phenomenon. It is also called theoretical study. Study or investigation of some natural phenomenon or relating to pure science are termed as basic research. Basic researches sometimes may not lead to immediate use or application. It is not concerned with solving any practical problems of immediate interest, but it is original or basic in character. It provides a systematic and deep insight into a problem and facilitates extraction of scientific and logical explanation and conclusion on it. Fundamental research helps build new frontiers of knowledge. The outcomes of basic research form the basis for many applied research. Now later on, we are going to discuss naman what applied research is and how the fundamental research build the foundation for many applied researches. Now, fundamental or basic research, first or number one, seeks generalization. Two, aims at basic processes. So, if we seek generalization and aim for the basic processes, we are generalizing the the description of a particular phenomena or situation, for example, based from the gathered data, okay, through the basic research. Third, attempts to explain why things happen. Fourth, tries to get all the facts. And fifth, reports in technical language of the topic. Now let's come to applied research. So, ano nga bang kaibahan ng applied research sa fundamental research? Now kanina we talk about the development of theories, no, sa fundamental research. Now, in applied research, we use theories or scientific theories to develop technology or techniques. Okay? So, sa pagdevelop ng mga paraan or mga teknolohiya, so we use scientific theories coming from the fundamental or basic research. Now, this can be used to intervene and alter natural or other phenomena. Like if you have already developed a particular product from an established procedure or technique, so here in applied research, you are innovating the methodology in creating a particular product by using scientific theories. Okay? Now, now in an applied research, one solves certain problems employing well-known and accepted theories and principles. So again, these theories or principles came from basic researches. And most of the experimental research, case studies, and interdisciplinary research are essentially applied research. Now, ano nga ba ang experimental research? What is experimental research? If you are trying to um, establish for example, efficacy of a certain product that you had developed, no, and test it to a particular subject, that is experimental research. How about case study? Case studies or case study is a descriptive or are descriptive and exploratory analysis of a person, group, or event. Okay? Now, a case study research can be single or a multiple case studies. Okay? Now, what about interdisciplinary studies or research? Interdisciplinary studies involves the combination of two or more academic disciplines into one activity, and it somehow draws knowledge from several other facts or fields like sociology, anthropology, psychology, economics, etc. And it is about creating something by thinking across boundaries. That is interdisciplinary studies or research. So these three types of studies are the most essential applied researches. Now, applied research, number one, studies individual or specific cases without the objective to generalize. So, ano ibig sabihin nito? Without the objective to generalize, meaning um, if you are gathering data from specific number of people which you think is representative of a bigger population, so that is somehow conducting applied research without generalization, no, for a particular case, for example. Okay, so you cannot say that, say for example, the the people, no, who loves coffee, you cannot say that individual one loves coffee, therefore individual two and so on loves coffee as well. Okay. Second, applied research aims at any variable which makes the desired difference. Okay. So applied research tries to draw differences between variables, okay, and tries to pinpoint uh, which variable among all the variables has the certain degree of efficacy, for example, which is significant. Okay. Third, applied research tries to say how things can be changed. Fourth, applied research tries to correct the facts which are problematic. And applied research reports in common language. Okay. So that's it for applied research. Now, basic and applied research are further divided into three types of research bearing some characteristic features as follows. Quantitative research. Now, quantitative research, it is numerical, non-descriptive, applies statistics or mathematics, and uses numbers. So, from the word quantity or quantitative, no? Of course, it is numerical. It is not descriptive in nature or non-descriptive in nature. Of course, if you have numerical data or quantitative data, we apply statistics or mathematics to interpret the data, no? And uses numbers to represent the entire raw data. Okay? It is an iterative process whereby evidence is evaluated. The results are often presented in tables and graphs. So, since we have quantitative data or numerical data, we need to, in a quantitative research, we need to create or craft tables or graphs to communicate the result, no, of the research or study we conducted. For example, it is conclusive. Conclusive in a sense that we try to, if we try to address a particular problem through quantitative research, we gather numerical data. After we gather numerical data, we need to treat the data statistically and discuss its result. After we discuss its results, no, we need to draw conclusion to somehow answer the research problems that we need to address, no, to somehow give answers to the research problems. Okay, and it investigates the what, where, and when of the decision. Okay, so we need to remember these three. Okay, what, where, and when. So that is quantitative research. How about qualitative research? It is non-numerical, descriptive, applies reasoning, and uses words. So opposite with the quantitative research, qualitative is non-numerical, descriptive, it applies reasoning, and uses words. So in conducting qualitative research, we are trying to gather the the reasoning or the opinion somehow of every individual. And of course, they will use words to describe something or to further express their thoughts, no, with the particular research problem. It aims or its aim is to get the meaning, feeling, and describe the situation. Okay? So since we are gathering the descriptive data, we can be able to gather uh, meaning, feeling, and description of a particular situation for that instance. Qualitative data cannot be graphed. Of course, only numerical data can be graphed or um, given representation through graphs. No, it is exploratory, meaning we can be able to explore the feelings, no, or reasoning of every individual through qualitative research. It investigates the why and how of decision making. So a while ago, we uh, emphasized that quantitative research investigates the what, where, and when of decision making. This time, for qualitative research, we investigates or it investigates rather the why and how of decision making. Ano naman ang mixed research? So again, in quantitative research, we use data, numerical data in particular. For qualitative research, we need to use or gather non-numerical data or descriptive data. Now, for mixed research, okay, this kind of research involves the mixing of quantitative and qualitative methods or paradigm characteristics. Meaning, we are going to use both descriptive and numerical data, okay, to come up with um, somehow a conclusion or an answer to a particular problem. Nature of data is mixture of variables, words, and images. Now, since we are done with our discussion on quantitative, qualitative, and mixed research, you have here your activity number one. titled research articles. So what you are going to do, number one, look for research articles on quantitative, qualitative, and mixed research in the internet journals. So where can you find internet journals or research journals? You can find it on scholar.google.com and download the file. You can get a screenshot if you cannot be able to download the file. Because we have some research articles that's for sale, no? It's not for free. Not all research articles are for free. So naay mga research articles na merong bayad. Okay? So if you cannot be able to download the file, just get a screenshot of the file. So ano yung dapat nating i-screenshot or i-download or i-print? So just print the abstract of the article including its research title and the author or authors. So where are you going to print your abstract? You are going to print it in an A4 size paper. Okay? So this should be the format of your output, okay, or activity. So you have here the font style, Bookman old style. Font size is 12 and it should be in bold. Paper layout, A4 size with 1-inch margin on all sides. So anong dapat nakalagay before the article? Your name, grade, program, and section. So it should be grade 8 STE. Section, kung ano yung section nyo sa special science class like Tesla or Newton. Activity number 1, yung title ninyo, research articles. Ito na yung sinasabing kong screen grab or screenshot ng article. So uh, no need for you to print all the contents no sa article. Just uh, print the title, the author or authors, and the abstract of the research article. So from here sa abstract, I can be able to identify if this is um, a quantitative, a qualitative, or a mixed research. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, meron dapat kayong tatlong um, printed outputs. Isa para sa quantitative research, isa para sa qualitative, and isa para sa mixed research. Okay? So, yun.